7 unexpected convict reactions after getting sentenced for life. A famous saying goes, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. And there is a lot of truth in that, especially for those who seem to think they can get away with their crimes. There is a crime in every country on the planet. From attempted murder to bank robbery, these are the 7 craziest reactions of convicts after getting sentenced to life. Screaming murderer. A 19-year-old man is shown on dramatic courtroom tape yelling "God" as he is brought in to face charges for the murder of his housemates. On Sunday in Daytona Beach, Florida, Damon Kemp was seen repeatedly crying out the phrase as he was being carried in for his hearing.
God! 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 God!
2 days after his putative victims were found shot dead at a nearby apartment, the alleged double murderer appeared in court, his face distorted into a picture of anguish. Even as the hearing began, the teen's screams could be heard coming from the courtroom. After Ingraham let Kemp stay in his apartment for free, he's accused of killing Trey Ingraham and Jordan Payton, both 19 years old. Both the why and the how remain unanswered. At the hearing, when the teenage suspect was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, Kemp's family also showed signs of sorrow. His bail request was turned down. Top recruit collapses in court. An Ohio high school basketball star will have to delay his plans to accept scholarship offers, choose a college, and begin his collegiate basketball career. Garfield Heights High School sophomore Tony Farmer, age 18, was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to kidnapping, felonious assault, and other charges. After having professors, coaches, and family members testify on his side, the 6'7" forward was hoping to get probation. As the judge announced his conviction and punishment, he collapsed into the arms of a sheriff's officer and sobbed.
The court orders that the defendant shall serve a term of 2 years on that count as well.
Farmer had a promising future before this crime occurred, making the entire courtroom situation gloomy and difficult to witness. Farmer was a consensus top 100 talent with attention from schools such as Ohio State, Xavier, Dayton, and Michigan State before his altercation with Lane was caught on tape in the lobby and parking lot of her apartment complex. Farmer's actions were inappropriate and Barker's response was reasonable. If Farmer doesn't get a reduced sentence from Barker when she examines it in 180 days, his dream of playing major college basketball is likely over. Threatening the judge. After appearing in court on attempted murder charges, a guy in South Florida was ordered jailed without bond. What the defendant spat at the judge certainly did not assist his case, even if the crime itself did not deserve the no-bond verdict. With Circuit Court Judge Beatrice Butchko in the room, Juan Rodriguez argued that he should be granted bail for the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, which began the Wednesday night before. The courtroom was stunned by Rodriguez's next statement after the judge denied his motion.
Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm a Jew. I'm gonna take your fucking life if you don't let me out of here. Okay? I'm done. Now let's eat breakfast. The rabbi's cooking.
Rodriguez yelled out the threat a second time just in case the judge didn't hear him the first time. Because the judge decided that Rodriguez should be held without bond on the allegation of attempted murder in the first degree, it seems unlikely that he would be released from jail in time for Rosh Hashanah. Reports indicate that Rodriguez's outburst of violence took place during his hearing on those attempted murder charges, resulting from the stabbing of a nurse's assistant in the back in North Miami. Throwing a podium. Even more so for a man who insists he did not murder anyone, rage in court is never a good idea. When admitted murderer Jaleel Hoskins learned he would be spending the rest of his life in prison, he attempted to throw a wooden platform at the sentencing judge. Hoskins pleaded guilty in December 2013 to killing Latrice Mays, a young mother of 5, in her apartment in Wyoming and disposing of her body in the garbage outside of her apartment complex. Hoskins pleaded guilty to second-degree murder during a trial in which he was charged with first-degree murder, which carries a life sentence without the possibility of release. Second-degree murder carries the possibility of parole. However, when Hoskins came before the retired judge, James Robert Redford, on January 2, 2014, the judge sentenced him to 50 to 100 years in jail. Hoskins snatched the heavy wooden podium from the floor and hurled it toward the bench. Court deputies led Hoskins out of the courthouse to begin the term, which will keep him in prison until any time between January 5th, 2064 and January 5th, 2115. Flipping the bird. The Chardon shooter appeared in court wearing a white t-shirt with the word killer scribbled in black magic marker on it. He then gave the courtroom the middle finger and mouthed the words that go with the filthy gesture. Lane also laughed and smirked while distraught family members of the murdered young men testified in court.
Saying pull the trigger that killed your son, now masturbates to memory. Love you.
When Lane was allowed to speak in court, he offered a short, harsh remark that finished with "F all of you" before holding up his middle finger in front of the family of the 3 pupils he gunned down. "To be honest, I wasn't prepared for this," the prosecutor admitted after Lane's gesture. He claimed that Lane's actions demonstrated that he is a disgusting human being. "This confirms what we've suspected all along. This was a cold, deliberate, intentional killing," the prosecutor added. Lane sneered and laughed when family members of his victims referred to him as repulsive and expressed their desire for him to be in prison like an animal for the rest of his life. Lane's defense counsel informed the court that he seriously advised Lane not to speak what he was about to say in front of the court, but Lane went through regardless. Lane confessed to 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, and 1 act of felonious assault. Because he was 17 at the time of the incident, he was ineligible for the death penalty. Short-lived respect. Manson Bryant is no stranger to the Lake County Court of Common Pleas, nor is he to Judge Eugene Lucci's courtroom. Bryant, then age 32, has a significant criminal history, extending back to 1999 when he was a minor, according to authorities. He had been in prison at least 3 times for 4 distinct offenses. According to court records, at least 8 of Bryant's criminal cases have been assigned to Lucci in the last decade, including his most recent case for a home invasion in Painesville Township in July 2018. At the time of his arrest, he was on parole.
The court determines that you have or will have the ability to pay restitution.
Fuck your courtroom, you racist ass bitch! Fuck your courtroom, man! You racist as fuck! You racist as fuck! Man, 22 fucking years!
Bryant was recently found guilty of aggravated burglary, aggravated robbery, kidnapping, and abduction by a jury. On March 1st, 2019, he appeared before Lucci to receive his penalty. "I've made a lifetime of bad decisions," Bryant told the judge. "I respect you and I respect your decision." But that respect was fleeting. Bryant exploded into a profanity-laced diatribe after the judge sentenced him to 22 years in jail, which was captured on courtroom cameras. Bryant faced nearly 30 years in prison, but Lucci first believed the defendant had shown remorse. However, after Bryant's outburst, the judge altered his mind and added 6 years to his prison sentence. The Slinger. Ricky Hand, a Springfield, Ohio native, actually had a trick up his sleeve for Clark County Courthouse when he was handed a 40-year term. Hand was being sentenced for his involvement in a run of armed robberies, around 30 in total, that he blamed on previous drug usage. Hand tossed a bottle of pee and feces at the members of the courtroom after hearing his sentence. Hand entered a guilty plea to the charges against him with the expectation of obtaining a shorter term and getting help for his substance abuse problems. Even though he was only accused of 7 of the purported 30 robberies, there was sufficient evidence to put him behind bars for the next 40 years. And now he is being accused of new things such as retribution, obstructing government activity, and harassment with body material. That was crazy, wasn't it? If you want to watch more like this, then please do check out these videos as well. Subscribe to our channel for regular updates, and we'll see you in the next one.